Good afternoon, good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. I want to welcome you back to another edition of Loyalty Live. In this series, we talk to leading agencies, technology partners and consultants, and customer channel and brand loyalty about the technology trends and best practices that impact a brand's ability to drive unique experiences, enhance engagement, and most importantly, impact customer loyalty. Loyalty Live allows for a deeper insight into the state of customer loyalty as we surface challenges in our day-to-day existence at Loyalty360 as we speak to marketers and members. And these Loyalty Live sessions allow for a pragmatic, driven response to these challenges as we speak with the leading agencies, technology partners who are actually helping brands with these challenges. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about NFTs, and we have the pleasure of speaking with Nick Casares from PolyientX. Nick, how are you today?
Mark, thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. First off, we like to start these on a more personal level, like to get to know the person we're speaking with. Would love to know a little bit about you and your role at PolyientX and maybe a fun fact, passion you may have.
Absolutely. So I've spent the past 15 years of my career in product strategy for software. I've worked across a variety of verticals, everything from marketing analytics to public safety to commercial real estate. I've transitioned over the past 5 years into Web3, working with NFTs. Today, I am the head of product at PolyientX. PolyientX is a custom development agency and software platform. So our mission is to help brands create, sell, and engage with NFTs. Okay. Oh, and fun fact about me, I'm a lifelong music junkie. I listen to it, I play it. I'm a hobbyist electronic musician. It's definitely my passion.
NFTs are a growing area of interest for our audience, those who run customer loyalty programs. What are NFTs for those who may not know what they are? Because there's a great deal of variance that we see in regard to definition. And how can brands use them to create unique and personalized offers, content for members of their customer loyalty programs?
Absolutely. So NFTs at their simplest form, I think the easiest way to think of them is as a digital collectible. So in the world today on the internet, it's not really possible for somebody to own a digital item. You can have a digital item in your account, you can have it attached to a profile, but you don't really own it. And NFTs are actually digital items that people can own. And it's provable and it's verified by blockchain technology, but that's all kind of behind the scenes. The important point is that NFTs are a way for people to start collecting and owning digital items. If we think about loyalty programs today, and we think about the way that people join these programs, you're typically signing up with a phone number, or you might be downloading an app, or some programs you may actually sign up in store, and maybe you have a loyalty number or card that you scan at a register. Those are all fine and well, and they're great ways to account for people's activity and credit points and let people look up their accounts. But they're not really personalized. They're lacking in terms of a personal touch with the consumer. And so NFTs represent this new opportunity where a consumer can take ownership of an item that is associated with the brand, but due to the nature of them owning it, it actually carries a little bit more weight. We know in our lives, the things that we own, we tend to have a different attachment to. We think about them differently, we care for them differently. And so when a consumer has an NFT that's associated with a brand that they love, that represents a new touch point for marketers to dive in and start building a deeper relationship with the customer. And that can be a jumping off point to all kinds of things. And I'm sure we can dig into details of that. But it's like opening a new door with the consumer for a deeper conversation.
Question we hear quite often is, what is the value of an NFT and what is the market for them? Is it a primary market or secondary market? How does one judge the value of an NFT?
Yeah, so there's really two ways to think about value when it comes to NFTs. There's the primary value, which is, does the consumer actually pay for that? Or is it something that they're given for free or in exchange for participation with the brand somehow? So that's kind of the first touch point of value, how it was originally obtained. And, that can be anything from just a commemorative NFT, which may not carry much value today. It could be also a very high value NFT that maybe unlocks access immediately to some sort of VIP experience. And that can be what the consumer gets immediately when they receive that NFT. As time goes on, then, if there are benefits, perks, rewards associated with that NFT can actually start to accrue secondary market value. And that's the actually interesting thing about NFTs. Going back to the ownership aspect, let's say that I'm a consumer in a loyalty program and I've accrued a bunch of points, a bunch of value, a bunch of perks. Maybe I can't use them all, or maybe I've just decided that I'm going to move on from this brand. An NFT gives me a way to actually capture some of that value. And if I am going to leave the program, leave with a good feeling, because I can capture value on the way out. I've earned those rewards. They're mine. I can do as I wish with them. So they introduce an interesting element of secondary value for consumers.
When you look at the pain points for marketers, what are some of the pain point challenges they may have when it comes to launching NFTs for their customers?
I'm going to answer this one in two big buckets. So the first bucket is the technology side of things. As we know, NFTs are powered by blockchain technology. They require a new skill set that a lot of marketing teams haven't been able to skill up on yet. There is a growing pool of talent, but in the early days, talent has been pretty scarce. And so I think that's a technology skill that marketing teams still don't have under their belt. And so that can be a challenge getting in. Of course, choosing a great tech partner can help alleviate that part of the challenge. The second part of the challenge then is NFT culture today largely relies on this idea of community engagement. And so marketers who want to engage with Web3 and with NFTs are often faced with this new learning curve about how do you engage a community. A lot of the activity around these NFTs is taking place on message forums, programs like Discord, which was originally intended for gamers. And so for marketing teams that are trying to engage at scale, that can be challenging. So it's really a new skill set around community engagement and community marketing that, again, teams may or may not have.
With customer loyalty, customer experience, there is a need for unique, personalized content. Brands are looking to gain different data points, zero-party, first-party, transactional data to personalize the content, the rewards, the marketing communications. Are NFTs something that can be done at scale, or should they be considered more of an exclusive form of content?
So I think the answer is actually both. So today, the way that we're seeing them treated is really more of a top tier customer engagement tool. However, our prediction of the future is that NFTs will start proliferating in ways that we never anticipated. And if we look even 5 years down the road, I see a world where consumers will have wallets full of these NFTs that are going to represent their interests, right? They're going to be real indicators of who this consumer is, the types of brands that they shop with, the interests that they align with. And that's going to be a valuable tool for marketers. We know that, collecting insights and customer data is getting more and more challenging. It's getting more expensive. It carries, additional compliance risks. And NFTs are actually a great way, once they hit scale, for marketers to start capturing some of that insight value. So I think they will work great at scale. And I think today they're being used primarily as a top tier engagement tool in really creative ways.
One of the things that we see within Loyalty360, we meet with our brands quite often with regard to different topics, and NFTs, when they come up, it's kind of a variance on who owns the relationship. So what do you see in your day-to-day dealings with brands? Who owns the NFT relationship? Who owns the opportunity?
So far, what we're seeing, and I think it's really a consequence of it being pretty early days for this technology, but we're seeing either a dedicated internal evangelist. So this might be somebody on the team who's been interested in NFTs on the side, and now they're bringing that knowledge to work, and they become the sponsor for a project, and they're driving that forward. So somebody internal on the team, typically, they really could come from anywhere, but somebody on the marketing team is going to be most suited to drive that forward. The second that we've seen a lot of is actually, at the founder level or the CEO level, top tier leadership getting involved. They see the opportunity, but they also understand that this is a nascent technology and they want to be pretty hands-on with it. And so they're, in the conversations, they're a big part of formulating the strategy and moving this forward.
Now, how do brands champion with an organization sell in the NFT opportunity?
So I think an important thing to remember with NFTs is they open the door to a longer customer relationship. So, one of the biggest benefits of a loyalty program is improved customer retention, improved customer engagement. And so this is the tool to start creating a longer term relationship with the consumer. And so, the advice that we give people that we engage with is, don't think of this as a one and done. This isn't an NFT sale and then it's over, or a one-time benefit. This is actually an augmentation of your existing loyalty and retention program that is a new way for you to tap a new segment of customer. This might be your super customer, right? This is your super evangelist. And as time goes on, you'll be able to see those segments grow into the rest of your customer base as NFTs gain popularity, as consumers get more familiar with them, and as they're just more widely accepted.
Also, how do you minimize cost, time to market, and maximize ROI for these opportunities?
A couple of things. One, start with a strategy. And I think this really speaks to finding people in the industry who you trust their reputation, who have a track record, and can help you navigate a Web3 strategy. Launch NFT and then what? Isn't really going to move the needle for most businesses. So it really takes an understanding of what does work, what's not working, the upcoming trends, how to avoid the pitfalls. And that really does require some expertise from people that have been doing this for a little while. It's a new industry, but there are definitely people in this space that have been doing this for years now. And so the experience is out there. So, seek guidance in experts. And then number two is really hone in on your technology partners. Understand what they can bring to the table, understand how that pairs with your existing resources. And don't try to do it all yourself, because there's a steep learning curve. And again, there are people that have been doing this for years now who can really help.
Do you have any unique examples of brands who are using NFTs in a unique way? What is the value to the brand, and how should that brand measure that value?
So as marketers, I think they'll relate to this. Anybody working in the MarTech space understands test and learn. And I think that's what we've seen a lot of so far. We've seen a lot of big brand engagement, doing some test and learn experiments to really to understand the technology and immerse themselves in the culture, but B, to start understanding where is the business value and where's the opportunity. And so we've seen some big brand collaborations with big NFT collections. So CryptoPunks, which is arguably the most recognizable collection out there, Tiffany's did a partnership with them. And so if you have a CryptoPunk, you can actually purchase your customized CryptoPunk pendant, which is, that's pretty interesting. There's some bragging rights in that for those owners. We're also starting to see more interesting legacy brands partner with NFTs. So I just saw that Bicycle Playing Cards is partnering with a Bored Ape owner, and they're bringing Bored Ape playing cards to the table. So we're seeing these interesting sort of collaborations between brands and NFT collections to really, I think, again, test and learn their way into this, understand the market opportunity. On the flip side of that, we're also starting to see some loyalty plays. So the 800-pound gorilla obviously is Starbucks. They're spinning up their Odyssey program, which will be NFT based, and it's going to allow consumers to collect NFTs, which they're framing as passport stamps along their coffee journey. And so that'll unlock different types of rewards within their digital community. I also just saw a really interesting case study on a car wash chain in San Diego that actually launched an NFT collection, targeted it towards their existing customer base, and it's unlocking benefits and perks for the repeat customers. So we're seeing this at all ends of the spectrum. And I anticipate, 23 is going to be an explosion of these types of experiments within the loyalty space.
You talked about some of the ways that brands are using NFTs. How can a brand leverage NFTs as a tool for customer loyalty and retention?
So I'll go back to thinking about this as an augmentation of your existing loyalty program. Really sitting down with a cross section of your business, bringing stakeholders to the table and talking about how you want to use NFTs as a new way to engage your customers, zeroing in on the tier of customer, the segment of customer, the types of rewards that you want to attach to that NFT ownership, but treating this as a long-running extension of your loyalty program. And again, not just a one-time affair, not just to generate buzz, but really to generate this rich sort of engagement roadmap.
You talked about your new platform a little bit. How is your new offering, your new technology different than other options available for marketers who want to launch an NFT process?
So what we've seen primarily in this space are tools that help marketers launch NFTs. We do that on the custom development side of our business, but our platform is really intended to help marketers do something with NFTs once they've already launched. So we have a tool set that's it's no code, it's completely do it yourself. A marketer can come in and customize the types of rewards that they want to offer to NFT holders. And these can range from physical merch to discount codes to digital items, event passes. We've got a whole library of rewards and more coming in 23. And marketers can actually create this customized reward experience, which is branded. They can attach it to their own domain name. They can update the look and feel so it feels like an extension of their existing programs. So we're really zeroing in on helping brands, again, do something with the NFT once it's already launched.
And the last question I have for you is, why is simply launching an NFT no longer a viable way to get involved in Web 3.0 from a marketing standpoint?
So in the beginning, there was a we'll call it a land grab of people rushing into the space, launching NFT collections, and it generated some significant revenue. Can't deny that. But at the same time, it's been a bit of an empty promise for a lot of those collectors who have an NFT now and they're not sure where the brand is going to go with it. And so I think, a brand that wants to be savvy with NFTs in 23 needs to think beyond the sale and think about, how does this map to our overall engagement strategy? How do we turn this into a long-term win for our customers? Because we're convinced that this technology is here to stay.
Excellent. Well, Nick, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today. It was very insightful to hear some of the things that you're seeing in regard to NFTs, where the market's going, but most importantly, how brands can leverage an NFT within their customer experience and customer loyalty efforts. So thank you very much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
And thank you, everyone, for listening today. Make sure you join us again for another edition of Loyalty Live. Have a wonderful day.